Hot Wheels Flash games. The greatest time wasters on the fucking planet. If you grew up in the 2000s, there's almost no doubt you experienced the glory that was old school Flash games at some point. It was one of the major ways I would spend my free time as a kid. During elementary school, I lived only about 3 blocks away from the school. I'd race home, rush through my homework as fast as humanly possible, grab a snack, and go up to my room and either watch YouTube or play Flash games until my mom called me down for dinner. There were a few websites I would typically browse, sites like PlayHub and Cool Math Games, but I don't think I ever spent more time on any other website than HotWheels.com. HotWheels.com was a magical place in its heyday. It was a paradise any young Hot Wheels fan would adore. I always enjoyed browsing through the new cars coming out, always adding new stuff to my wish list, and the site offered plenty of activities to scroll through. Most prominently of all, Flash games. Dozens and dozens of Flash games.
Well, let's see if they're as good as I remember. Let's just load up the Hot Wheels website and get our 2009 on. This must be what hell is like.
So Adobe Flash Player. I feel like it's one of those things that everyone has heard of, but nobody knows what the hell it actually is. Adobe Flash was a web browser plugin software that was used to run many old online computer games and applications. Hence why these games are called Flash games. Flash was discontinued back in 2021, leaving many old Flash games completely unplayable, unless the website owners backed them up and or archived them somewhere else. Which HotWheels.com did not. And as a guy stupid enough to accidentally buy the PAL version of Just Cause 2 for his North American Xbox 360, I'm sure you could probably imagine the utter insanity of me trying to find a way to play a bunch of old web games that technically don't even exist anymore. But guess what? As the dumbass I am, I did. Kind of. There are a bunch of fan-made backups out there of plenty of the old games, however some of them I could not find anywhere. However, the good news for those is that, luckily, some heroes have uploaded archival footage of them, which means we're going to be stealing content. The other issue I had was just how many Flash games I stumbled upon that I wanted to talk about. I started out just trying to find all my old favorites, but eventually I kept digging, and the rabbit hole kept getting deeper, and it eventually became, holy fuck, how am I going to cover all this? So consider this part 1 of my personal Hot Wheels Flash game archive. I picked all the ones I played the most as a kid, and we're going to go through and see whether or not they're as good as I remember. There are a ton more I've got that I've put to the side, and even more that I couldn't find, so if this video does well enough and enough of you want to see it, then we can maybe cover the rest of them in a potential part 2 sometime in the future. But for now, sit back, and let's get nostalgic. Beast Bash Beware, aka the codename for my drunken Friday night bedroom activities. Beast Bash Beware is a game based on the Beast Bash Beware track set from 2007. Here you can choose to play in car mode or beast mode. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Beast mode! Jesus Christ, this how to play screen is giving me anxiety. Centered text much? Anyway, in car mode, we have to battle against the beast to save the city. We have 5 cars to choose from: the Rocket Box, Track T, Rogue Hog, Iridium, and Vendetta. You have to time your move right to get past the beast's fist and claw, then aim the launcher to hit the beast's chest. Then just repeat until death. There's also Hot Wheels emblems you can pick up for extra points, but who cares? When you get down to it, it basically is just one long, drawn-out QuickTime event. Yeah, that's right. Move over, Heavy Rain. Beast Bash Beware is where it's at. Then in Beast Mode, yes, once again, Beast Mode, you have to destroy all the cars trying to destroy you. Either smash them with your fist, or crush them with your claw.
I don't like little cars!
Okay, calm down, buddy. It's not that serious. This one's fun for about 5 minutes, but after that it kind of just exists. It's a fine little game, but there's just really not that much to do. Pfft, a Flash game that lacks much content? How could that be possible? Despite that, this was one that kept me entertained for hours as a kid, so I guess it did its job. Or I'm just mentally inept. Either or, really. Brakeless. Yeah, that name is shockingly accurate. Brakeless is the most thrillingly atrocious game I've ever played. It's amazing. We have 6 different cars to choose from, all of them looking like they're terminally ill. We have a Toyota Supra, the Phantasm, Mercedes-Benz, just any Mercedes-Benz, I guess. The low carbs, the 40 Ford Coupe, and a bone shaker with a skin condition. Seriously, what the f is wrong with its face? All of these cars are unlocked from the get-go, aside from the Phantasm, which is locked behind a secret code. But it's okay, you can just glitch the game to get it anyway. Also, apparently the code never even worked to begin with, so that was a waste of 3.5 hours. The goal of this game is to just reach the finish line and set a fast time. There's a ton of obstacles to dodge, and this is where the game really lives up to its name. This game has some of the most batshit insane driving physics I've ever experienced in a video game. Seriously, I press down on the accelerator and the car instantly hits Mach 1. The turning is twitchier than a meth patient. You even just slightly tap the arrow key and the car is heading straight for the wall. And hey, if you get bored, you can also just do this. Yeah, I think we've seen enough of this one. Dragonfire Scorched Pursuit. What a fucking mouthful that title is. Dragonfire Scorched Pursuit is a game based on the Dragonfire track set from 2007. You can choose between the basic game, where you play as the car, or the premium game, where you play as the dragon. Fun fact, as a stupid kid, I always thought the premium game option meant you had to actually pay to play it, even though it literally explains what it is for most games. Also, man, can I just say that dragon looks so much cooler than the actual one that came with this set. In the base game, you had 3 cars to choose from: the Drift King, Jaded, and Sup Dog. The goal is to survive the drive to the finish, and outrun the dragon, avoiding its attacks. There are also occasional obstacles you'll have to dodge. Getting hit will deplete the health bar, and if your health bar hits 0, it's game over. There are repair pickups that will regain a little bit of health, as well as coin pickups that will give you some bonus points. There are 3 levels: outrun the dragon in all 3, and you win. Then in the dragon mode, it's fairly similar to Beast Bash Beware. You have to destroy a specific number of cars using your fire breath before they reach the finish. There are clouds all around the track you have to dodge, and it's also really easy to fly ahead of all the cars since the dragon can cut across loops and certain turns the cars can't skip. Haha, I did it! Oh. This was always a really fun one, and I did love it a lot, but it wasn't one I played all the time. I had to be in the mood for it. That's right, I'm a Hot Wheels Flash game connoisseur. I can't just play them. I have to experience them. Monster Jam Destruction. Remember when Hot Wheels and Monster Jam were basically synonymous with one another? Yeah, me neither. Monster Jam Destruction is a 2D side-scrolling game where you control a monster truck and have to make your way through each level, smashing anything and everything in your path, with the power of shitty platforming. There's also these Monster Jam tokens scattered throughout the levels you have to collect. There are 4 different areas: the freeway, mall, junkyard, and stadium, each having 2 levels respectively. There are plenty of obstacles for you to smash through, from trucks to barrels to kiosks to blimps to UFOs. Once you destroy everything in the stage, you move on to the next one. There's also multiple different trucks we can unlock. However, small problem, we can't unlock them. Genuinely, I try everything. Destroyed everything in each level, collected all the tokens, completed the game multiple times over, but I just couldn't figure out how to unlock the other trucks. And at this point, I'm convinced the game is just f***ing with me. This was always a game I really loved, but I could never beat. I always got stuck on like the second to last level. I'll be honest, I could never really figure out what I was supposed to do. Yeah, that's right. Young me was too stupid to read the how to play page. But it's an entertaining little platformer, and though it kinda blends in with every other 2D Flash driving platformer on the internet, it's still a good time nonetheless. Formula Fuelers Racers. I'll take the spoiled milk. Formula Fuelers Racers was based around the Formula Fuelers line from 2004. These were cars that you could power with everyday food and beverages from around your house. I plan to do a video on these at some point, so I'll definitely go more in depth with them there, but I'd rather go more in depth on the game for now. I mean, at least as much as I can. This game's about as deep as a fucking swamp. In Formula Fuelers Racers, you're given a fridge.
Whoa!
And inside that fridge, there are groceries.
Oh!
Basically, you have to pick 3 items from the fridge to mix into the nitrox fuel, and then use that fuel mixture to power your car in the drag race. Who the hell keeps salt and pepper in their fridge? If the fuel you made is good enough, you'll win. If it isn't, your dad will tell you what a disgrace to the family name you are. I remember playing this one over and over again, mostly because it was so short. Seriously, you could beat it in under a minute. But it was always fun mixing all the different items and seeing how it would work, even though it was pretty much arbitrarily random every time. I just always loved the aesthetic of this game. I don't know why, but watching the simple animation of mixing the foods together was oddly satisfying to my childhood brain. My personal favorite ingredient is the questionable mystery brown paper bag. Nothing says, I'm about to poison myself, like a questionable mystery brown paper bag. There was also always this advertisement for the Skyforce set at the end of each round. However, it's not actually in the game, it's just an ad. I mean, they could have added different modes, that definitely would have been a Game Awards worthy showing, but unfortunately, they never did.
And the winner for Game of the Year 2015 is...
Formula Fuelers Racers.
Web Trading Cars Chase. Less of a chase, more of a race. Seriously, guys, get your choice of words right. Just because I failed English doesn't mean I can't critique it. Web Trading Cars Chase was a top-down racer based around the Web Trading Cars line from 2008, which, fun fact, were the first ever Hot Wheel cars to have the individual art of the cars on their packaging, as opposed to just the generic card design. You're given a choice of several vehicles from the line. The Attitude, Quarter Mile Coupe, Pony Up, Greased Lightning, Mega Duty, MX-48 Turbo, and Whipped Creamer 2. There were 2 tracks available, the beach course and the snow course, as well as a trailer promoting a third desert course coming soon. It's been 16 years, but I'm sure they're still working on it. Anyways, starting the race, and holy shit, look at that frame rate. You basically just gotta win the 3-lap race around the course against 5 copy-paste opponents. Honestly, the opponents aren't even that bad. The hardest part for me was hitting all the turns correctly. The handling can make it really hard to properly judge turns sometimes, and I also kept getting stuck on these weird blue orbs. They're supposed to be there to mark the limits of the track, but all they really do is just give you something else to crash into. This game also has that classic flash game compression on all the audio, where it sounds like it's playing through a speaker at the bottom of a lake. This was always the first game I'd go to when starting an after-school Hot Wheels flash game session. The instant I loaded up the website, I'd always go straight to this one first. I don't know if it's the nostalgia talking, but I think it's actually still pretty good. It's a pretty okay top-down arcade racer. Nothing that'll blow you away, but it's serviceable nonetheless. I'm still waiting for them to release that goddamn desert track, though. Spin City Drive-Thru Dilemma. Jesus Christ, imagine waiting 4.5 hours at this place just to fill up gas. Spin City Drive-Thru Dilemma is quite possibly one of the most popular and well-remembered games from the Hot Wheels website. Anytime I see people talking about old Hot Wheels Flash games, this is usually one of the first ones people bring up. And for good reason, because unlike a lot of the other Flash games, which are quick, replayable, bite-sized minigames, Spin City is one that you could keep going for hours on end. In fact, this was probably one of the longest games on the site, as you could technically keep it going forever. In Drive-Thru Dilemma, you run the drive-thru from day to day, and have to send each car to the service that they're requesting. Gas station, tire supplier, car wash, snack bar, repair shop, paint shop, and music store. Some customers in the later stages will have multiple requests, and the challenge of the game is really about balancing sending customers from place to place without creating too much of a backup. The longer a customer has to wait, the less money you make from the job, and the more the customer satisfaction meter goes down. In between each day, you can use the money you make to upgrade your shops and make them more efficient, as well as pay for advertising to attract more customers. There is no real endpoint. I basically just kept going until I had upgraded everything, at which point I basically considered 100%ing it. This game is still super addicting, and it's genuinely challenging at times. Honestly, I could see something like this returning as a mobile game today. It's basically the same concept as those idle simulator games. They could easily just port this with a bit more content, and bam! Virginity can rise again! Terrain Tourney. I've never seen that word used anywhere else in my life. Terrain Tourney is a 2D side-scrolling racing game. It's basically a relay race. You pick a vehicle in each of the 3 types: off-road, water, and street, and have to race through all 3 biomes, changing lanes to dodge obstacles and hazards, and trying to outrun your opponents to the end. You also have to be careful of your opponents, as it's very easy to accidentally hit them with switching lanes. And if you hit them or get hit too many times, it's game over. The same can be said for if you hit too many obstacles. In the desert, it's rocks and cactuses, in the water, it's rocks and buoys, and in the city, it's cones and potholes. Man, city infrastructure is just atrociously funded. There's also collectibles you can pick up to help you. There are wrenches that will repair any damage you've suffered, NOS cans for a speed boost, and these Hot Wheels logos that... Actually, I don't really know what they do. You know what, now that I think about it, that is a point to bring up. What is it with these Flash games having random Hot Wheels logos for you to collect that don't actually do anything? So many games have this, and it irritates the shit out of me. What does it do? You can also supposedly activate your weapon by pressing the spacebar, but I tried in multiple races, and it just didn't want to work for me. Regardless, this is another really quick one that I honestly don't really have much to say about. I know I'm probably sounding like a broken record here, but it's just a simple but enjoyable little game, as all Flash games seem to be. Factory Tag Rides, aka my first racer simulator. Factory Tag Rides was another pretty simple game based around the Tag Rides line of cars that ran from 2004 to 2006. These were cars with low suspensions and sweet graffiti liveries. I do own a few of these, and man, these were actually pretty sick. I really like the aesthetic of these things. In the Factory Tag Rides game, obviously you get to create your own custom tag ride. When you get down to it, it's basically just a simple car customizer. You pick a car body, of which there are 5, being the 5 that were released in the 2004 Tag Ride series: the Fandango, Boombox, 68 Cougar, Tropicool, and Surfin' School Bus. You then get to pick the color, decals, wheels, adjust the suspension, and create your own custom tag ride. And then when you're finished, you can pick between 3 locations: Planet Hot Wheels, Mission Mars, and Dino Park. Yeah, because that's the first place I want to take my riced out bread van. The fucking Triassic period. You can't actually drive the car, but you do get to watch it cruise down this one never-ending stretch of road infinitely, while a 6-second hip-hop beat clip just plays on an infinite loop. So it's just as fun then. And that's pretty much it. Once again, another very simple game with little in the way of content. However, still one I played non-stop as a kid. I really don't know what it is about these Flash games. They're so basic, but you legitimately never get bored of them. Feels like Stockholm Syndrome. Ferrari XV Speed Trial. Okay, now that Hot Wheels are actually allowed to make Ferraris again, is it okay that we bring this back, please? Ferrari XV Speed Trial was a third-person shockwave game based around the Ferrari XV line of cars. They were little battery-powered cars that you could charge on these launchers, and then shoot them around and subsequently cause thousands of dollars of property damage in the process. Here we get to choose between high-res and low-res modes, just in case your computer is unable to handle the sheer magnificence of this 2005 web browser game. The basic goal of the game is to win the 5-lap race through this hillside circuit against your opponents. I always loved this game purely because of how scenic the track was. In fact, a lot of the time as a kid, I wouldn't even care about winning the race. Most of the time I spent playing this game was just driving around, exploring the track. This track's just got good vibes. Man, the sound designers on these games really deserve a pay raise. Every other lap, you'll also have to make it through the Cyclone Chamber, which basically means watching a shitty cutscene. Make sure you're going at least 140 miles per hour though. Any slower and you won't be able to make the jump through the chamber. Honestly, this game is still pretty decent, at least for what it is. I feel like I'm playing a PS2 demo game or something. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, I haven't been able to figure out yet. But yeah, it's a fun time, and I can definitely see why I played it so much as a kid. This is it. This was the magnum opus of Hot Wheels web games for me. This is Series Slamdown, and it was by far my absolute favorite game on the entire website. I played this game every single day. Every time I opened up that website, this game was always the one that I saved for last, and would literally spend an hour or two on just replaying it non-stop. Series Slamdown is basically a WarioWare-style minigame collection of sorts. You have 3 lives, and have to beat all 40 back-to-back minigames. If you lose a minigame, you lose a life. However, if you win multiple minigames in a row, you have a chance to gain a life back. There's a multitude of different games they give you, they're always in a random order, and they begin to increase in difficulty as you progress. There's so many fun ones in here, so let's just go through them all real quick. To start, we have Mystery Cars Car Wash, where you have to wash all the dirt PNGs off of the mystery car to reveal it. As you go on, the sponge gets smaller, and the amount of dirt on the car increases each time, but it's still by far the easiest. 2007 New Models Traffic Light. Whoever came up with that title deserves a fucking Medal of Honor. It's basically a Hot Wheels version of Simon. The traffic light flashes a pattern, and you have to repeat it. Each time it adds one more flash, which is supposed to make it harder for you to memorize. That's the end of that sentence. Each one also just has a random car sitting there for no reason, because hey, free advertising. Now that I think about it though, this game may single-handedly be the reason why the Roadhog is such a prevalent car in my mind. Track stars compare. You gotta spot the difference between the two cars. Each time they add a difference. Forget what I said earlier, this is the easiest one, they didn't even fucking try. Treasure Hunt's card match. You have to flip the cards and match each car on them with the second card for that car. Make sense? Mismatch them too many times and you lose a life. They also add more cards each time, and by the end there's like fucking 20 of them. Code Cars Hangman. It's literally just a game of Hangman. You have to guess the name of the car. If you get it wrong, the car gets the John Coffey treatment. So yeah, basically, you guess the name wrong, it dies. You killed the car. Are you happy? The only problem with this game is that sometimes it doesn't even know the name of the car. The Diesel Boy and Moto Blade always had their names swapped. They never fixed it, and it always irritated the shit out of me. But hey, what can you do? I marched outside Mattel's headquarters for 8 hours with this picket sign, and clearly, the First Amendment did nothing for me. Teams catch. You gotta move the car back and forth across the screen and catch the falling objects. But make sure to dodge the skulls. If you try and catch one, it literally dismembers you. Each time the objects fall faster, and the number of objects you need to catch increases. I remember this is the one that always took my final life. Specifically on the last one where you'd have to catch all 20. Then there's Team Sky Race. I fucking hated this one. You have to fly the plane through a specified number of rings. The number of rings increases each time, as does the speed at which you're flying. And Jesus Christ, by the final few, you're going so fast you barely have any time to react. Especially considering that these rings are this light pink color, and can sometimes be impossible to see until it's too late. This is one I always lost lives on, and it's the sole reason for my vendetta against the aviation industry. And finally, 2007 New Models Flat Tire. Mash the living fuck out of your mouse to inflate the tire, get it into the green and then end. Man, that's it. Despite these games being super simple, it was so much fun trying to make it to 40. And at the end, there's also a little bonus game where you'd have to guess what line the pictured car was a part of. I could never get these right back then, and... well, that was all my favorites I really wanted to go over. However, there were plenty of others I wanted to talk about, and even more I remember that I still have to find. I'm sure some of you, your favorite game, I probably didn't cover in this video, so if you guys want to see it, then we'll definitely pick this topic up again another time. These games may seem like dumb, pointless garbage, but they were such an integral part of my childhood, and I'll remember them forever. Thank God to all the heroes running these sites who've backed these games up and helped keep them playable for years to come. Here's hoping it stays that way. So until next time, flash on. That was terrible.